Hello everybody and welcome to a very special Facebook Live. I'm here with my co-host Prince. So many of you will know me from TBA Law. My name is Rochelle Manderson and I'm one of the solicitors here. The other thing that I am is I very much am very passionate about animals, and I'll often bring you updates through my blogs or through Facebook Lives on what's happening with responsible pet ownership or pet breeding or anything along those lines. So today we are talking pets, which is why I've got my little boy Prince here. Now, many of you will know that Prince is a boy that was born in my own lounge room, and as I'm a hobby breeder of Schipperkes, which is what Prince is, with the ANKC and Dogs Victoria. So he is 9.5 years old now, but what I want to talk to you about are puppies. The issue that we've got at the moment with puppies regarding puppy scams. So this is something that is really close to my heart. It makes me so angry when I hear about these scams that are happening at the moment with puppy purchases, and it's prompted me to such a point that I'm doing a Facebook Live all about it, and I'm also going to be writing a blog about it pretty soon as well, so you can see that. Just I know. So Prince is going to help me here today to talk about puppy scams, why we think some of them might be happening, and more importantly, how you can go about avoiding becoming victim to one of these scams and what you can look for. So what's been happening? I believe you may have seen it in the news recently. I believe there's been something like over $1 million has been scammed out of people across Australia this year on puppy scams. And what are they? Essentially, people selling puppies, but the puppy doesn't exist. So they advertise puppies for sale. People come along and they buy the puppy and they transfer the money, and then no puppy's ever delivered. And the person's lost their money. In some other scams, it could also be that the seller, the vendor, comes back and says, oh, well, we need this much and we need that much, and we need this for transport, and we need a special crate, and we need delivery charges, and we need a permit, and all these sort of things. And the unsuspecting purchaser's got no idea that none of this is necessary, none of it's required, and they pay the money. And they keep paying the money until they reach the point where they start to think something's not right here. So what can you do? If you're looking to buy a dog, then these are the things you need to be aware of. If you're somebody that's looking to sell a dog, these are some of the things that you can do to make sure that people out there know that you are not a scammer. And if you're looking at other pets, such as cats or rats and birds and bunnies and those sort of things, I haven't heard too much of these scams going on for those animals, but just be aware, because who knows, this scammers are very sophisticated. So what you can look for when you are looking to buy your puppy. Ideally, if you can actually go to the venue, the premises, wherever the puppy is, and pick that puppy up, pay your money and pick that puppy up, or transfer your money and pick the puppy up, then there's no doubt about it, that is the safest option, because the puppy is right there and you can see that it's real. So unfortunately, that's not always possible. And the issue, yes, I know, the issue we've got with COVID this year has just made puppy scamming even worse. And I think the issues surrounding this are threefold. One, you've got a lot of people locked down or out of work or waiting for their job to commence again. They're looking for something to do, they're looking for companionship, they're looking for an exercise partner because they can't go to the gym, so they want to go for a walk, and they'd like a dog to go for a walk with. Other people have thought, hey, we've been thinking about getting a dog, let's get one now because we can settle the puppy into the house and all those sort of things while we're home, and then when we're back at work it's a bit older and we'll have done our toilet training and all that stuff. And all those reasons are all valid reasons for getting a dog at that point in time. So none of that's a problem. But the other issue that COVID has brought is that it's much harder to actually go and see your dog. I always say, go and see the parents, go and see the puppies, go and talk to your breeders. Make sure that the puppies are being raised in a good environment. Make sure that they are, the parents are healthy and all those sort of things, and you're comfortable with your breeder, because you're going to have a relationship with your breeder potentially for the life of that dog. Well, you can't do that during COVID. COVID has stopped all of that because nobody can visit anybody at their house. Nobody can travel too far. If you're going interstate to get your puppy, the borders are closed. You can't cross the border. It's hard enough getting puppies flown across borders at the moment. You know, just making it really difficult. If you're in metropolitan Melbourne, it's looking promising that things are beginning to ease up, but for many months things have been getting tighter and tighter with restrictions, to the point where you can't really travel very far at all. So it makes it very difficult to do those due diligence that you would normally do pre-pandemic. So some of the things you can look for when you're looking at an advertisement for a puppy are this. Firstly, if the puppy's in Victoria, any puppy being sold, rehomed, given away must have a PER number on their advertisement. A PER number is 2 letters followed by around about 6 numbers that identifies each breeder. It might start with RB, which is recreational breeder. It might start with MB, which is micro breeder, commercial breeder. But you will need to see that number on the advertisement. Secondly, every puppy sold must be microchipped, and those microchips must be included in the ad. So if there's a litter of 4 puppies, there should be 4 microchip numbers. Microchip numbers are the very long number that usually has a lot of zeros in the middle there, and it should say microchip numbers blah and blah. Cannot possibly misunderstand what the microchip number is. If they don't have those microchip numbers there, how do you know the puppy even exists? So look for your PER number, look for your microchip number. The other thing that you can do, if you cannot visit the premises, really truly think about, and you want to buy a puppy, not a rescue dog, really truly think about a purebred pedigree. And the reason I say this is, in the scam of puppy scams, in the whole scheme of things, you've got the additional protection that your ANKC purebred breeder will have an ANKC number, and they will have that number on their ad as well. For example, if you're looking for skipper keys, say for example you're looking for skipper keys. Hey Princey, because you think he's gorgeous. Of course he is. So you're looking skipper keys, you're saying, right, here's my ad for a skipper key. It's got a PER number. It should usually start with RB, because I don't believe there's any great commercial breeding of the breed, but anyway. Okay, so it's got the PER number, tick. There's a litter of 5 puppies. Okay, there's 5 microchip numbers, tick. If you see on the ad, cannot have the microchip yet because, notification from vet that's not healthy to microchip before 4 weeks old. That is normal. But once those puppies are microchipped, they should have that microchip number included, and they should be able to give that to you when you contact them. Microchip number, tick. ANKC registration number, tick. Should be a breeder's prefix. A breeder's prefix will be the first word of a pedigree dog name, and it should be in their advertisement as well. Mine's Adoran, so mine would be saying Rochelle Manderson, skipper key puppies, ANKC registration number is 310 blah blah blah. I do actually know it, but tick. Adoran, tick. 4 puppies, microchip numbers, blah, blah. PER number, RB, blah blah blah. Tick, tick, tick. These are all good. The other things you can do a search. There's a website called dogsonline.com.au. The majority of purebred pedigree breeders use this website. You can look up that breeder and that breeder prefix. You may even see the ad. In order to have your prefix listed on this website, you need to provide the owners of the website with your registration details from Dogs Victoria or Dogs SA or Dogs New South Wales, whatever your ANKC state controlling body is. So that's already been checked by them before you even get to put your breeder prefix on that website. You might even be able to see photos of the parents on their profiles. This all leads to you knowing that these dogs are real, these people are real, and these puppies are real. The other thing you can do, say you're looking at Schipperkes, you might say, right, there's a club. I'm going to call the state club, in this case Schipperke Club of Victoria, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm interested in buying a Schipperke. Do you know if there's any litters around? They will most likely say, yeah, Rochelle's got a litter. Her number's this. You can give her a call. It all adds up to this person and the puppies being real, because the breeding community of purebred dogs it's relatively small. Most people know most people, so somebody somewhere will have heard of the different people, and it gets around. So-and-so's got puppies, and clubs tend to know what's going on in their breed. So that's another thing you can do just to sort of try and put your mind at ease that these puppies really exist. The only foolproof way is, of course, to actually pick the puppy up in person. But failing that, these are some of the things you can do. So look for all of these. Do a little bit of calling around. Speak to the person on the telephone, not just by email. Actually speak to the person. If you see that this person's messages are in broken English, English might be their second language, but it's just a warning sign. You'd want to call and just talk to them, and that's in no way being racist at all. It's purely saying from a point of view of, is this a scam? Very often a scam will not be in absolute correct English, so just be aware of that. Talk to them on the phone. They can send photos, but the trouble is, there can be photos that they pull off the internet. So if you know how to do a reverse image search on Google, do that. You might see the photo pop up as a stock photo. There's a few other things that you need to be aware of. When you are purchasing a puppy, there is no such thing as a COVID lock or a crate that costs more because it's COVID friendly or something. Just doesn't exist. Crates are crates. Secondly, if you're traveling the puppy interstate, they should know in the first place. So they should be able to say, okay, the puppy's, I don't know, let's pull numbers out of the air. The puppy's $1,000. It's going to be $500 for transport. This is a transport company that we're using. This is your order slip. You can call the transport company and make sure that they exist. You can call and say, hey, I'm having a puppy delivered by, Dogs on the Go, or there's no such company as that. That's why I'm saying that. And therefore, you can have this, and they can talk to you and they say, yep, we do deliveries from Victoria to Sydney, from Melbourne to Sydney. Most likely they will not be doing a delivery to your door. You can confirm that. Generally speaking, you will need to pick that puppy up. So that is something to be aware of. If they're telling you, oh, pay this and you'll get delivered to your door. No, talk to your deliverer, make your company that's shipping the puppy, make sure that it is in their policy, because that will differ. And that is one thing that scammers will use to try to get more money out of you. If they try to tell you that you need to pay them any more money because of insurance, well, that's not a thing. You're the one that takes out the insurance. You can get 6 weeks free pet insurance as a breeder. That doesn't cost anything, but it's the purchaser that will be taking out the insurance. You don't have to pay extra for insurance. You don't have to pay extra for permits. You do not need a permit to travel a puppy from one state to another. You do not need any sort of import permit. They're not coming from overseas. If they're starting to ask you for payment for permits, you can have alarm bells ringing, because not a thing. Other thing, if they start asking to charge you money for you to have, or something else that I've heard going around is if you can have, so they can check to make sure that you're going to be a suitable dog owner. Again, that's not a thing. A good breeder should be, yeah, that's right. A good breeder should be doing their due diligence on you and talking to you, and they should be doing this, not charging you extra for it. They will be doing this every time they talk to you, every time they send you a message, when they meet you, they'll be looking and going, are you a good fit for my puppy and my breed, or my older dog, whatever it might be. So just be really, really aware of all of those things. So you now know what to look for in your registration ad. You know what the safest way of doing a purchase would be to actually collect the puppy. Failing that, there are a few things you can do to try to make sure that this puppy is for real. And a few calls you can make and look for and warning signs if they start asking you for things. So all of those things very, very important. The other thing that is relevant here is what can you do if you have already been scammed. Unfortunately, lots of people have. In some cases, they might only pay for their puppy and delivery, and it never comes, and they've lost they've lost a few $1,000s. They might have paid a few extra things as well for additional extras for transport or insurance or those sort of things that they'll come back to you for more money for. So you may have lost, usually people would have woken up before they've lost more than around 10,000. Usually you're looking at a few $1,000s. So you can contact the ACCC. If you contact the ACCC and you can report the scam, there's a report a scam option on the ACCC website, and I encourage you to do so, because even if you don't get anything back from that, then you can at the very least, you can try to stop it happening from somebody else, or try to have the people that have done this to you some form of sort of justice with them. You can also speak to your local police station. They may not be able to do anything, but it's certainly worth making a report. Civilly, you can take the matter to your state tribunal. Here would be VCAT as a consumer law issue, because as well as a scam, you paid for a product that you have not received. So therefore, VCAT would be your area of choice. The advantage to VCAT is that you can also, if you're not going to spend a lot of money on legal services, you can do this for yourself, which reduces your fees. You can also speak to a solicitor who has some experience in this area, and they can help prepare documents for you or even lodge them for you, and that might take some of the pressure off. Remembering, of course, that if you're following through with civil litigation to try to get your money back, you need to make good business decision as to how much you've spent, how much it's going to cost you, and then if you do win, whether or not you're going to be able to recover the order from the court or the tribunals made for you, how you're going to actually enforce that order and get your money. So unfortunately, there are some harsh realities of the legal world that we live in, but on a case-by-case basis, you can do that. So, Prince, I think we've covered everything. Just to recap, make sure that you have your PER number, your microchip number, your ANKC registration number, and your prefix all on your advertisement. Make sure that you can do other research so that you're not just looking at a photo that someone has put up on a website or Gumtree or Facebook or something. Do a reverse image search on Google to see if that pops up as a stock photo, to see if they've just pulled it off the internet to sell the puppy over and over and over again that doesn't exist. Know that if you are being asked to have more add-ons and more add-ons and more add-ons, it's probably a scam. You can call your parent club of your breed that you're purchasing. See if anybody is aware of this litter that's for sale. Registered pedigree dogs, you still can get scammed, but it's harder. It's harder to pull it off. There's a few more protections, there's a bit more due diligence you can do to try to prevent that from happening. If you're really concerned and you're not worried about getting a puppy, you can look at rescue where you can literally go to the shelter, speak to the person, see the dog, buy it, or breed rescue groups where, say for example, Skipperkeys, there might be a breed rescue group that you might call and say, hey, I'm interested in a puppy, have you got anything in rescue? So rescue is also a good option if you're trying to avoid being scammed, and you will probably pay less for that rescue dog than you would for a puppy. And finally, if you have been scammed, ACCC scam alert and police report, and possibly litigation in VCAT for to see if you can recover some of those costs, and play it out on a case-by-case basis as to what you can do. So, as I say, this is something that not only is a legal issue, but is an issue that I personally just find so aggravating that, you know, I have these great dogs, and I always, for the rest of my life, hope I've got these great dogs. And all people are wanting is a great dog. And it's just, it really makes me annoyed when people are scamming innocent people that just are just looking to buy a puppy, and because they just want money. And it's, so these are some of the things that you can try and do so that you don't fall victim to these sort of scams. So I hope today has been assisted you in if you are looking for a puppy or a pet, if you're in the process of doing that, or even if you have been victim to one of these scams. These are some of the things that you can look at. Just be very, very wary of the likes of Facebook and Gumtree and things like that if you can't actually see the puppy, actually see it yourself. And the other thing is to just try and look close to home if you're not particularly concerned about the specific breed that you're after, or if it's a common breed. You do need to get along well with the breeder. But again, if you're going with a breeder that's going to be with you for the life of that dog, then you're probably going to go registered pedigree, which means that you are probably going to get that anyway, and you've got some other things that you can do to try to protect yourself. So best of luck with it, going out to find your perfect puppy or your perfect dog. Try not to just jump on the bandwagon of let's all get a dog in ISO. If you are getting a dog or a puppy, try so hard to do your due diligence so that you don't fall victim to a scam. Because it's very, very hard to recover your money if that happens to you. So thank you to Prince, who's been a very good boy and's been helping me out today as my very special co-host. And I will look forward to seeing you in a future Facebook Live. In the meantime, keep an eye on our website, as we will be posting a blog that I'm writing about this issue as well. And you can have a read of that. You can re-watch this video. This Facebook Live will be posted as a video later on our website and on our Facebook page, so you're able to go back and watch this again if you need to. Or you can give us a call and have a chat to us, because it's something that we'd be happy to help you with. As I say, it's a passion of mine, and I want everyone out there that wants a great dog to get a great dog and to not find themselves in issues where you're requiring our services as solicitors. So best of luck, thank you for watching, and have a great day, have a great weekend.